Hey everyone, welcome to Old Iron Garage and thank you for tuning in. So this evening I am in the garage and will be continuing to work on the vintage Homelite 20-inch cut push mower, which is right here. I brought my work stand into the garage and my work stand that I built that I service push mowers on, so I can service them at standing height. And because it's dark outside, as you can see, and it's not dark in here. So anyways, let's dive in. Alright everyone, so I've done a few things off camera. I went along and sprayed some hardware and things that may need to come loose in the future, and lubed up things like the wheels and the recoil. The recoil is on the side here. It is the type of recoil where you pull the rope up. The rope comes up out of this hole here, and it has a plastic gear that goes in and engages teeth that are on the flywheel. So I've lubricated that. Lubricated the cables for the throttle lever and the flywheel brake for when you let go of that handle and let it shut off. I've lubricated the height adjusters and stuff like that. I can't even remember what all I did off camera. I did check the oil level, which is good. I removed the old fuel line and used that to measure for a new fuel line and cut a new fuel line. I've got hose clamps ready to go for that fuel line. I did a bunch of stuff off camera. So let's just go ahead and dive in. So there's this little O-ring that is the seal between the engine and the carburetor. So we're going to put that on. Then we're going to put on the carburetor. First we have to obviously connect the linkage between the governor and the carburetor, the throttle. It can be a little tricky. Need my flashlight. In case you're wondering why I'm always sitting down when I'm working in here, I do not have a very good back, and it's a lot easier on my back to sit down and work than it is to hunch over something like a bench or a mower. Having the mower on the stand helps tremendously, so I'm not bending over down to the ground. But depending on what I'm doing, sometimes I still have to kind of hunch over my work, and that does not work well for my back. So to save my back, I prefer to sit when I can. There we are. Okay, that is on. Now I have to put on the next thing will be the fuel line. So I'm going to show you the old fuel line. It was pretty brittle. You can see some cracks here. It is hard as a rock and stiff as can be. Look at that. Just try to bend it and it just splits right open. You can get all the way down to the cords on the inside. That's no good. So you got a nice new piece of fuel line here. Fresh off the spool. Freshly cut. Two nice screw style stainless steel hose clamps versus the type that you just squeeze the tabs together to open it up. These can squeeze a bit tighter, so you get guaranteed a bit better seal. So let's go ahead, put this in place. I already got the seals on the line, the fuel line that is. Now the line is in place. So now we just have to move the seals to where they are in place, tighten them down. Oh, I grabbed the wrong socket. Gotta be careful if you're using a ratchet to tighten these up, not to over tighten them, because they will essentially strip out, and you don't want that. Then you gotta get, then you've wasted a hose clamp, and you need to get another hose clamp. Mosquito. I'm trying to be careful as to not break the plastic nipple that this end of the fuel line goes onto. The bottom of the fuel tank has a built-in open-close valve, a fuel shutoff valve, and on the top side of that, inside the tank, there is a fuel filter screen, a very fine mesh metal screen. So, and between that and the fact that this is such a short fuel line, I am not adding an inline fuel filter. If it was a longer fuel line and there was good space to put a fuel filter, then I would go ahead and add an inline fuel filter, like a paper element type, that is clear, with a clear housing so you can see the fuel and the filter. But yeah, between the fact that this already has a filter in the tank and such a short fuel line, I'm not adding an inline filter. Sure, if I really wanted to, I could cut a longer fuel line and make it kind of come out a ways, put a filter, and then go back in. I'm not doing all that. It's really not that necessary. So the next thing is the back side of the air filter housing, the air housing mounting plate, or whatever you wish to call it. Now, from the factory, it does not appear that this had a gasket between this and the carburetor. The kit that I got to rebuild this carburetor that I wound up not even needing to use came with this cork gasket that fits that location. It came with a couple different style gaskets. So the other one had some extra holes and stuff for the later Briggs Quantum carburetors. It would still work for this one, but it has those extra holes. So I don't really want to waste that one, but it came with this one, and this one fits the same application here. So I'm going to use this one in this application. But I did notice that where this hole is right here, it was a little bit bent. I used a ball peen hammer to flatten it the best I could, but I cannot guarantee an airtight seal here, even with a gasket. So I will be using some RTV in addition to the gasket. I'm going to just put some on the carburetor, put the gasket on, put some on here, and install this part. I just want to make sure that this engine looks like it's possibly low hours, and based off of a few things, mainly the muffler still looks brand new for the most part, and I just want to kind of keep it in good condition. So I just want to ensure that no dirt gets sucked into the engine. Hang on a second. Before we go any further, I want to make sure that I have this choke set up correctly. I do not. I forgot to check what position the throttle lever, which is also the choke lever, was in before installing that carburetor. I really do not wish to take the carburetor back off, so I'm going to try and persuade one part around the other. I'll bring you guys, I'm not going to have you guys watch me do that because it may take a minute. So I'll pause the video and I'll bring you guys back in a minute. Alright, that was actually pretty painless. I literally just kind of pried it upward without actually bending the part. Move the choke to the correct position and let it go back down. Alrighty, time to put on the back plate, or the mounting plate of the air filter housing. Let me actually clean this up a little bit here, where the gasket is going to go, because I'm going to use some RTV there. I'm just going to clean up the whole part a little bit. Sometimes I do that. I'm kind of picky about parts being clean when everything goes back together. So sometimes I take the time to. I try not to do it all the time, so I can actually get something done, be a little more productive. But sometimes I take the time to just clean up each part and piece as it goes back together. Okay, that is clean. So let's put some RTV right on the carburetor, carefully, not to get too much. And then we'll put the gasket in place on the RTV. Use that to hold it in place. And then we will put some on the air filter housing piece, the back plate or the mounting plate, whatever you wish to call it. Okay. Should be just enough. I didn't want to put too much on because I didn't want a whole bunch squishing onto the inside. And the gasket is here. All right, now let's put some RTV on here. Sorry, I can't really bring the camera any closer. My mount is wall mounted over there because when I'm working in here, I'm usually not working over here. So I apologize. Figured I should probably say something about that. Hey, there was a couple cracks in this breather hose. Don't really like the look of that. This is a part specific to this application. It is a pre-formed part. So I don't have one of those just kicking around here that I can replace that with. So they're minor cracks, but it could cause a leak and allow dirty air in. Or could get worse. So I am going to have to put some RTV on here. That's just going to make it kind of a big pain in the butt to try to put this on. I'm just going to put a thin skim of it over that on there and then just kind of rub that around on that area to completely cover the crack. That's not the correct fix for this problem. The correct fix is replace the part. But I don't have the part, and this will work in a pinch. Done it many times. Works just fine. It's just, it's a little, I don't really know the term I want to use to describe it. But it's kind of a hack job, but I mean, hey, it's better than just leaving it alone, I suppose. I don't think it can hurt anything. I'm gonna need these pieces. Now let's see if I can snake this thing around the fuel line. And get the vacuum line. It has to go on the other side of the fuel line, and yeah, this might not be. Oh, it's got to go up from below. I see. Fun. No, it does go down from above. Never mind. let's see if I can get it around that fuel line and connected onto the breather tube. Jeez, can't turn around here. And without messing up that RTV or making a mess out of it. They did not make this easy to get in there. I may have to consider, yeah, I'm going to have to just pop this breather tube out of this plate and put it back into the plate after its breather tube is installed. So it is out now. Oh, that's nice. I messed up my gasket with the silicone. That's real nice. So I get to redo that. Okay, that breather hose is installed, and now I get to redo my RTV on the carburetor. I hate when that happens. You get some RTV put on something and then you mess it up. I have to reapply because I ended up wiping a bunch of it off on my finger. All right. I know this definitely is not going to be my greatest video with the camera being further away, but, you know, what could I do? Okay, the gasket, the RTV and gasket have been reapplied. Now, let's see. So what I'm going to end up doing, I think, this is going to be difficult no matter what I do. There's really just no good way to yeah, there's really just no good way to put this together, unless maybe I take off the fuel tank. It's just when the breather hose is on here, it's almost impossible to get on the breather tube. But if you put it on there first and then try to get it back into here, that becomes almost impossible. So let me see if I can take this fuel tank off somehow. How does it come off of here? I know I'll have to undo this end of the fuel line, and that'll be easy to do. That's not a problem. Okay, I think there might be a bolt here. Yeah, there's a screw here. Okay, so I think I just need to undo this screw. And I can just take the fuel tank up and out of the way, and then it should be much easier to get this installed. Alright, see what happens. I'm going to take the throttle cable loose as well. Okay, and then of course the fuel line. So, stop that. Okay, now, there we go. The fuel tank out of the way. I'm actually going to go ahead and put the breather tube back into this plate first, because I feel like this will be the easier route. With this plate installed, I feel like it's going to be much easier to put the breather tube onto the breather hose onto the breather tube rather than the breather hose into the back of this plate. So this mower is actually going to, a lot of stuff I do flip, especially push mowers, because I only want to have so many push mowers around. But since I do come across so many cool or neat old or vintage or antique push mowers, it's hard to, sometimes it can be hard to say no to some of them, but I tell you what, this one is going to stay in my personal collection. This is the only Homelite push mower, like vintage Homelite push mower I've ever come across myself. Like, I knew they were out there, I'd never actually come across one myself. So this one will be staying with me. And that's why I'm, making sure that everything here is sealed up very well. All right, and that is ready to go on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the breather hose lined up, and so all I need to do is push it on. But then I'm going to go ahead and screw this on. Let's see, which way does this go? This went like this. There's like this this little plate that oh, sorry, I thought I turned off my alarms. I had an alarm going off. There's this little plate that goes over, that kind of hovers over the inlet, and I just needed to make sure I know which way that goes. It goes this way, I think. What in the... Okay, that's weird. I'm having a hard time remembering exactly how this goes on. So I'm going to pause the camera, pause the video, figure this thing out, and then I'll bring you guys back. Okay, I had to brainstorm for a little bit. I remember how it goes on now. So the two small holes on the sides are not actual bolt holes. There's only one bolt hole. This is the bolt hole. Inside here, you see a little raised bump there and there. Those holes go over those. Those are like locators, basically, and they help to hold it in the correct position, like so. Sorry about that. Alrighty, let's, where did that fall from now? Oh, I see. I just found a random piece that I don't remember. It fell out when I took the throttle cable off of the fuel tank. Alright, I wanted to get these two screws started so that the gasket cannot move. Now I'm going to try to get this breather tube in place. Well, let me go ahead and get the get this fully installed and screwed down, and then I'll do it. It'll be easier then. Now, I'll try and get that in place. and pushed in and installed. I may have to enlist the help of a flathead screwdriver to get in there to help me push. Come on. Okay, this is going to take a little bit of time. I'm just going to pause the video and bring you guys back when I'm done with that so you don't have to stand there and watch me struggle. Alrighty, I got it. That was not fun. And it was quite ridiculous. They could have come up with a better design. But anyway, let's finish installing the mount for the air filter box. And now the fuel tank. Let's get that back in place. Well, I've got this throttle cable loose. It has a little bit of a bend in it. I see both the inside of the cable and the sleeve. So I'm going to attempt to straighten it a little bit so it has a smoother operation. All right, that is straightened. Now hook the cable back up. Has to be hooked up before oh, it's always something. No matter what I'm working on, something always, little part always drops and hits the floor. Yeah, come on, move. There. It's always got to be something. There always has to be something that drops and hits the floor. It never fails. I hate it. Worst part is finding it. Alright, now there's kind of a witness mark on here to tell me where the clamp for the throttle cable was. So I'm going to line that up. And, oops, that's going the wrong way. I'm going to put it on the correct way. Add it upside down. Then line it up and reinstall. Oh, daggone it. This clamp is kind of a bit of a pain in the butt. not the easiest design to work with, because you're having to hold the cable in place plus two parts that are the clamp, plus the screw, put the screw in and get the screw lined up. Now I need to make sure that the throttle is, or that the throttle cable is indeed in the right spot. I think I have it off just a little bit. I do. It's crucial that you have it clamped at the correct location on the sleeve, so that way you the throttle, a choke, whatever, it all functions properly. So now we're going to reclamp it. See what happens. Okay, good. Nope, it's off just a hair. All right, that should do. If it starts hard, then I know I need to adjust it just a little bit further to close that choke just a little bit more. I'll close up my RTV before it dries up. And a little bit of RTV squished out in a place where I don't want it to be. So I'm just going to get that out of the way. Whenever using RTV, you have to try to make sure that whenever using it in a place that it shouldn't be normally, you gotta make sure that it is not going to end up being a problem. So yeah. Alrighty. It's being a little bit stubborn. I think part of the gasket is there too, inside the hole. There we go. All right. Got it. Sorry, this is taking longer than what I anticipated it should. So, I thought I had the correct air filter, a brand new one for this thing. It is what is normally used on many of the Quantums, but I'm not used to the early Quantums. This is what I have. This is what it takes. This one's just a little bit taller, but not quite as wide. This one is a rectangle. This one is a square. So the old one goes back in. I have ordered a new one that is the correct part number, the correct filter, and it'll arrive on Friday. I should probably reconnect my fuel line. Before I totally forget. Not that I couldn't do it after the air filter is fully installed, but I mean, may as well just do it right now while I'm thinking about it. Okay. Alrighty. Looks like the valve, the fuel shutoff valve is in the closed position. We're not ready to fire it up, but I'm just going to go ahead and open that. And get this out of here. Don't need that. Now we're going to go ahead and install our air filter. We're getting close to firing this thing up. You know what, I'm not sure why I'm even putting this on right now. This does not need to go on right now. I want to leave that open so I can shoot a little bit of fuel in there to bottle feed it to help it start easier. So that is actually going to stay off. We are ready to try to fire this thing up. If you remember, I said I've already checked the oil level. It is at right on the full mark. It's perfect. So, and the oil looks clean. Now that doesn't mean that the oil isn't dirty and that the dirt in the oil is all settled to the bottom. But, you know, we're just firing it up and checking, seeing if it runs, checking it out. I'm going to pause the video. And it's late. People are sleeping. I'm going to shut that overhead door and kick on this fan to at least try to blow some fumes out of this room and up and out into the open area of the garage. We're going to put some fuel in this and fire it up. Or try to fire it up. Alright. So I got the overhead door closed, the fan going, and it is fueled up. I've got a screwdriver here already ready to adjust the carburetor, and the last thing I need is this little squirt bottle, just in case I do need to give it a little squirt to help it get started. But the fuel line and carburetor fuel bowl should already be primed and ready to go. It's in the slow position. Let's put it on, you know what, let's see if it'll start without choke. I've just got it on slow, like down at idle. Let's see what'll happen. Hey! Ha ha! Very nice. Didn't even need choke. So that means I don't need this little squirt bottle of fuel either. Very nice. So I think that adjustment screw needs to come out. I'm going to bring it out 1/4 turn and then try it again. going to bring it out one more quarter turn. We'll try it again. If that doesn't do it, then I may have the idle set too low. I think I may have actually brought that out too far. It's smoking a wee bit right now. Smells like it might be a little rich. So let's see what it takes to get out the idle adjustment screw. Okay, there it is. That's not too bad. I'm going to give it a half a turn. We'll try it again. I think that's the issue. I think it'll stay running if I turn it up a little more, and then I can fine tune it. So give it another half a turn. Try it again. Alright, she stays running. Let's bring that idle up a little more. Start adjusting the fuel mixture. Well, she runs, and aside from being a smoker, she does run good. But, I mean, it's safe to say, if you look at my garage, I guess it's not such a low hour engine. So, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, this was a $10 mower at a yard sale. So, I'm not worried about it, really. Maybe at some point in time I may take the head off, and I'll open the garage door here in just a minute. Hey, my carbon monoxide detector is detecting. But yeah, actually I will just go ahead and just step outside. But maybe at some point I'll take the head off and look at the cylinder wall, and if the cylinder wall looks good, if I don't have a bunch of deep scratches or anything, if I feel like it's worth putting some rings into, I may end up putting some rings in it. And then just reseal the whole engine with all new gaskets and oil seals. Man, you can, I don't know if you guys can see it. There. Right here. Garage is venting. Anyways. There we go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. I'm sorry it was a little longer and a little more tedious than normal. I just ran into some issues that I didn't realize would be issues. Drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Have you had one of these mowers? Did you like it? If you did have one, or did you not like it? And if you have not already subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this in the future. And I will see you in the next one. Later. Hey, I just wanted to share a quick update with you. So it doesn't smoke as bad as it did previously. It just needed to run for a little bit. So you don't see it smoking right now, and when I rev it up, it only gives a little puff and then goes away. Or mostly goes away anyway. Alright, that's it.